Hello everyone, my name is Cole, and in today's video we are going to be modifying the LEGO Pagani Utopia Speed Champion set. Now if you're familiar with my channel, you'll know that occasionally we do modification videos of cars, and so I haven't done one for a while and I thought this seems like a good place to start. So I should start by saying I do not think this is a bad set at all. I think it's a really good set. In fact, it's one of the best Speed Champion sets, as like it's a very nice car model. It looks obviously a lot like the Pagani Utopia, and it's like really great just the way it is. But I know quite a few of you guys enjoy modifying your cars a bit, and so in today's video I'm going to show you guys some ways that it can be like made a little bit more realistic, and also a couple other things that you could add to it if you want to make it look a bit different. But the main purpose of this video is to kind of show you what can be done with it, so you don't have to follow this video exactly. You can kind of modify the modifications that I'm going to show you and modify it how you like. But I think most of you guys use these videos like that, where you use them as inspiration, which I think is great. So yeah, let's get started. Now I will say, while I think this is a pretty good looking model generally, the front of this model just looks a little bit, I was gonna say it looks catfish like, but then people have said that the real Pagani Utopia actually looks catfish like, so maybe that's realistic then. Either way, let's start by modifying the headlights of the car, because I've heard quite a few complaints on the internet about these big printed parts, which look fine from most angles, but from the front they just look really weird. So let's start by removing those. You can do whatever you want with them. I don't know. They're quite interesting looking parts, so I feel like you could find some good use for them. You'll probably also want to remove the hood because it'll just get in the way. Then you can remove these supports that hold up the ice skates. You can remove all the parts that are connected to them, just this whole assembly. And then you can remove this curve slope and the bracket that's holding it on both sides of the car. Then remove the bracket from this curved slope and stick it back on upside down next to the curved slope that's already on there, just like this. And now the bottom of the bumper will look like this. Then remove the two 1x1 round plates with a hole in the stud from the assemblies that hold the ice skate up. And you can just keep them stacked up right here, just like that, and they'll come in handy in the future. You can just set the rest of the parts off to the side because we won't need those. Then you might want to bring out your brick separator to take off this very small assembly, which is a 2x2 corner plate with a curved slope on the end of it, so you can remove that. Then replace the 2x2 plate with a 1x1 plate, and just basically put the curved slope back where it was on the car, but this way we kind of get rid of that plate in the front of it. Then here come a bunch of new parts. A wedge plate with a 1x2 round plate on top of that, and then a curved wedge on top of that. Then underneath we will attach one of these stacks of 1x1 round plates, and then just a stack of 1x1 plates. Now, you can put this here, but it occurs to me that you should probably take that off first and add a 1x1 slope here to kind of add the top area of the headlight. And you should also get this assembly together, which is another 1x1 plate with a curved wedge on top. Kind of set that aside. Then you can bring in this assembly and then use that curved wedge with the plate to lock it in. Now, is this the most thorough assembly? No, you could definitely go a bit more deeper, make it more durable and maybe nicer looking, but I just kind of want to do some basic modifications. Now one more thing you might want to do, which I forgot to do here, so you can take off the bumper and you can add two 1x1 round plates underneath here, and this kind of replaces the detail that the ice skate was. And now the headlight mods are done. I'm pretty happy with them, honestly, although the curved slopes, the printed pieces look fine, honestly, so whatever you want. Now we're going to modify the side, so you can start by just taking off a bunch of parts, the windshield, this wedge plate back here. You want to take out your brick separator and attempt to take off the whole side. You probably remove that plate, and you can try and take off this brick, kind of rip the car open in the process. And then remove this kind of side of the car, this 1x6 brick. So now here come a bunch of brand new parts, or at least parts not in the set. 1x6 plate, 1x1 plate, a 1x4 plate, and a quarter circle tile. Then another 1x6 plate, and then this basically replaces the 1x6 brick and kind of includes the vent that's normally a sticker. Then we have this new rear view mirror design, which is a 1x1 plate, a 1x2 curved slope, and a 1x1 round plate underneath, because in real life, the Utopia has these bizarre looking mirrors, which I think are kind of a cool detail of the car that LEGO didn't really capture, so I think this kind of captures that a little bit better. The normal mirrors do look nicer though, so you might want to keep those. Then we'll take the 1x2 plate off of the 1x6 brick, add it to our new assembly, as well as a new 2x2 corner tile. And that goes back where the other assembly was originally, and you can lock down everything else. And there will be this 1x1 plate that you'll just have to sit there, and this wedge piece will just have to kind of hold it in place, and it'll stay in there fine. Then you can repeat this for the other side. And now the sides are done, this different side part mod, whatever you want to call it. Then around the rear, if you do not like the look of this printed exhaust piece, you can replace it with 4 1x1 round plates with a hole in the stud. Now I personally like the way the tile looks better than this, because it still has the ring around the plates and it just looks cleaner. It definitely looks weird though, so if you want to replace it, this is not a bad solution. Then if you want a little bit more like style, I guess you might call it, you can make this little wing design, which is basically a jumper plate, 1x2 round plate, and a 1x3 tile. And those stick basically right on top of the fenders. And this is kind of a Zonda C12 looking wing. It's not a thing on the real Utopia, but I think it looks kind of cool if you want a little wing on your Utopia. I should mention that my Utopia has different fenders in the rear because I swapped the fender parts out for the city style ones. You will have to replace the 1x2 tile where this wing would be with a 1x2 plate, and that way the wing will be able to connect to it. It shouldn't be too hard. When you try to connect this wing, you'll figure out where it's supposed to go. And with that, that is it for our Pagani Utopia modifications. We didn't go too crazy because, like I said, it's a pretty good model. Now, if you do want to go a little crazy, you can check out my friend Prototype Brickworks on Instagram, because he built this really cool kind of Utopia R, like Zonda R style Utopia with a big wing and lots of aerodynamic upgrades and some really cool modifications, so I'll link to that down below. Otherwise, I hope this inspires you to make some interesting modifications to your Utopia. You can expect some more modification videos in the future of other Speed Champion sets. Let me know which ones you would like to see first, because I can prioritize those. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. There will be no instructions or parts list for this one, just because it's so simple. And so, that is it for today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching, really hope this helped, and I hope I'll see you next time.